Welcome to the Lifting Lounge podcast. Join your hosts, Josh Parkin and Jack Buffery, as they give you the knowledge and the tools to take your physical and mental performance to the next level.
Hello.
Hello.
You keep trying.
Hey, I've caught you a couple of times. It's good. Before we start that shit, guys, today's episode, we are going to talk about the one thing. Then we're going to talk about a really interesting concept that is actually going to lead to more conversations after the podcast, Josh, just to prep you for that. Then Fit Talk today is a good game of Would You Rather. The study time is about mice eating stuff. And the hot topic is all about the other variables.
Woo.
Before we get into all of that, Josh, how are you?
Yes, I'm good, man. I've had a nice morning. I got my hair cut, as you can see on the...
Can you feel how much colder does it feel around the side of
Yeah.
your head? I bet that feels well
Mate,
different, doesn't it?
It's weird, yeah. Considering I had fucking like curly hair. Yeah,
You were like turning into Samson.
Yeah, I was a little bit, and now I'm weak. Yeah, done that. Done a bit of Christmas shopping. I've had a lovely leisurely morning, mate. It's been lovely.
Very nice.
What about you?
Well, I'm okay, but now I'm sitting here. So for anyone who watched episode 100 that we actually recorded yesterday afternoon, I set myself and Kimberly up behind me on my massive beanbag. And, I actually think I preferred it. I was much more comfortable there. This is like not quite as nice. So I might have to arrange something to get myself back there. But yeah, I've had a morning for the clients, standard PT stuff. My last client was quite fun because she hasn't made it to her workshops in a while. So she said, so for those who don't know, workshops are our version of like boot camp group classes. And she said, when she came along, she said, I'm going to book in for a PT, so I can't make workshops. And I said, okay, cool. Do you want me to help you out of anything, or do you want something else from this? And she was like, I want you to beast me. And yeah, when a client says that, you just have to oblige sometimes. So oblige. So good end to the morning of PTs. It was nice. She kicked off. She's going to Dubai for New Year, so it's like 30 degrees out there, bikini weather. So yeah, she's told her to stop eating dairy milk and let's get solid.
Yeah, just mess her up.
Yeah, why not? It was fun. It was good fun.
Happy days. Wow, I mean, that sounds like you had a great morning. Wonderful.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. And this is what, our second last week, the penultimate week before Christmas, leading up, getting there slowly.
Yeah. I mean, this episode comes out on the 21st. So yeah, this episode comes out the 21st of December. This is the last episode you'll get before there's going to be an episode on Christmas Day. So yeah.
Oh wow.
That'll be
Christmas Day. Is that the next episode? Is that the next episode we record?
Yeah. Next episode we're recording is a Christmas Day special. Yeah. And then the one after that is a New Year's Day special.
Oh fuck! We need to get our fucking shit together. All right, I need a Christmas hat. All right, okay,
Christmas.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Fun one. It's all right.
Yeah. Right. Well, Jack. Sometimes, my tip is in search for that one thing. It's just in search for that one thing. Do you know what? Actually, I just realized we said after 100 episodes.
I was curious. I was wondering if you were going to go into this or not. But I mean, that's fine. You rock on if you want.
What do we do? Do you know what? Fuck what everybody thinks. I have fun with this,
especially as I laid. This is another good one for the double entendre as well.
So my tip is always in search for the one thing, Jack. That one thing, and sometimes struggles to find it. And if you can help me with that. Can you help me?
I think that's what they refer to as an incel. Is that what an incel is? I think so.
Well, yeah. It's not I'm not fucking. Fuck no.
What are you doing right now? It looks like you're just making sure it's still there.
Yeah. No, I'm fine.
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, my just a tip for today, and it's just a tip, is the one thing. So this is for any of you who are in your workouts and you want to improve on a certain thing. And what I actually had in my head here was mind muscle connection, to be honest. And it's okay if you want to go for a workout and still give it some beans and smash it out, but you're probably aware of some certain things in your body that doesn't feel quite right, or you could be more connected to. So in one workout that you do, doesn't matter which workout it is, but sorry, in every workout you do, pick one move in particular that needs more connection, and just spend a bit more time on that one move of every workout. For instance, if you
Mm,
can't feel if you're just bouncing out the bottom of the squat and you don't really actually connect to anything, then take time in the squat to feel the tension and understand what muscles are doing what. If you're just throwing bicep curls up in the air, then take time to understand the connection and really focus on that connection of the bicep curl. And it might even be something completely different. It might be just changing up rest breaks or something like that. And we're going to talk about other variables of workouts in today's hot topic. But as a nice little challenge for yourselves, on each workout you have, find just one thing in the workouts and fucking nail it. Become really good at it, because that is
mm.
going to serve you well throughout the rest of your exercise life.
Yeah, definitely, man. And do you know what? That's one thing I always try and get people to do with warm ups, right? It's such a common thing where people just like, especially in powerlifting, where people
Hmm.
get real lazy with their warm ups. They'll just go
Yeah.
in and just do a few reps of this way, a bit more, a bit more. But all the top powerlifters out there, like Eddie Cohen and stuff like that, they'll say or Australian strength coach Sebastian Ora, they would say your warm ups need to look like your fucking heaviest lift. You need to
Hmm.
and everything going up needs to look like your heaviest lift. So that's like one thing. If you're working in a strengths aspect of training, nailing your warm ups. Folk, when you go in there, first thing you do is make sure every single set looks like you're attempting a max,
Yeah.
and that way that technique gets drilled in. You don't have to think about it. It becomes second nature.
I think that's a really good show. Actually, is you want every set, regardless if it's a warm up or not, you
Mm.
want it to be a you want to
Mm.
make sure it's good, so you're consistently producing good efforts. And I must admit, I'm guilty of it as well. I don't do it for every single exercise that I do, but when you do it, you do notice a difference, and you do feel way more
Mm.
connected to it. So yeah, whether it is your warm up, whether it is the rep itself, whether it's something completely different, but it's still in the workout, try to nail one thing. And actually, a ritual is a really good way to look at it. So if you can pick if you can just make sure your setup even for one exercise is spot on, and that would start with the warm up,
Mm.
then you're going to get so much more out of that particular exercise. And of course,
Mm.
within a few weeks, you'll have that exercise nailed. You can move on to another one. So just
Mm.
carry on going forward, and it will make you a much better lifter. In return of that, you'll get much better results too.
Yep, definitely, definitely. So, yeah, guys, nail that one thing.
Nail that one thing. Oh, there was a Jesus joke that came in there then, but I decided not to go for it.
Oh, 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 yeah, that's my kind of joke.
Oh
Oh
dear.
no. Mhm. Carry on, Jack.
So I'm just what have a hooker and Jesus got in common? They both get nailed.
Whoa. No,
Okay,
and
that's enough of that.
we've lost all our listeners.
Right, okay. Let's go on to current news. And this is actually a current news instead of a geek corner this time around. So this is great. I say
Mm,
current actually. Well, yeah, December the 5th. So as of recording, this is 6 days old. But this year's Dubai Fitness Challenge breaks records. That's a headline. Over 2.4 million people took part in the 30-day challenge. Right.
mm,
Just from that byline alone, 2.4 million, and it
mhm,
was over a whole month as well. How fucking
mm.
cool is that?
That's cool.
That's the reason I picked
That's
this article, because this, Josh, I think this is going to speak to us, and this is something that I'm like, well, can this be implemented in this country? And if no one else is going
mm,
to do it, is there a way that we can actually maybe look at doing
yeah.
something like this? So After an epic month of health and fitness, the 7th edition of Dubai Fitness Challenge, DFC, has concluded, recording a staggering 2,406,181 participants across its action packed 30-day calendar of sporting events and activities. Breaking records once again, the citywide initiative by Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, that is one long fucking name, Dubai Crown Prince and Chairman of the Executive Council of Dubai, brought friends, families, visitors, colleagues, and neighborhoods together to kickstart healthier habits and embrace an active lifestyle. Smashing 2022 numbers, which was just over 2,200,000, this year's DFC drew people from all ages and sporting abilities, creating an inclusive atmosphere of health and wellness across Dubai and leaving a lasting impact on everyone who committed to the challenge. 30 minutes of daily exercise for 30 days. Running from October 28th. Running from October. Freaking ads. Running from October 28th to November 26th, DFC featured 3 fitness villages, the returning and much loved DP World Kite Beach Fitness Village, and brand new. Oh my god, the ads keep on pushing the text away. And brand new RTA Mushroof Park Cycle Centre and Run and Ride Central, serving as central hubs for fitness enthusiasts to gather and explore a multitude of activities. These villages welcome close to 400,000 visitors throughout the challenge who experienced a diverse range of fitness offerings and enjoyed a sense of camaraderie with fellow participants. In addition, 26 community fitness hubs played a pivotal role. I need to shut this ad down. It keeps on pushing the text upwards and down. This is doing my head in. Right, stay there. Where was I? In addition, 26 community fitness hubs played a pivotal role in engaging and inspiring individuals at a grassroots level. These hubs provided accessible platforms for fitness and wellness, ensuring visitors embrace the spirit of DFC within their own neighborhoods. DFC also featured 2 mega events, which closed the iconic Sheikh Zayed Road to traffic so that people could cycle and run through the heart of Dubai. The 4th edition of Dubai Ride, presented by DP World, welcomed an impressive 35,000 plus cyclists, collectively covering a staggering distance of over 500,000 kilometers, basically, cementing its position as the region's largest community cycling event. It brought together cyclists of all ages and abilities, promoting a greener and healthier mode of transportation while showcasing some of the city's most iconic landmarks. Making history once again, the 5th Dubai Run, presented by May Dubai, set new records and consolidated its position as the world's largest community fun run. In an extraordinary display of community spirit, Sheikh Hamdan led 226,000 participants in a wave of orange sun and sand sports t-shirts. The collective energy and determination added to the remarkable success of the event, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose, and drawing DFC 2023 to a thrilling close. I'm just going to leave it there, but what a fucking thing, man.
Mate, that's awesome. That is awesome. I've been writing notes down, so I'd send them to you, but there's gonna be more stuff going on. But mate, that's fucking cool. And
it just gets me pumped, man. This sort of stuff, like seeing that scale of it, that's what's needed. And the reason I left it at that center is more to the article, but I just love like the fact it just says it's bringing people together, and that's how fucking cool is that? It's amazing.
And then, so what is it that we can? So obviously that's been run by the fucking Crown Prince of Dubai, right? So
exactly.
The boss. Yeah. Obviously, we're never going to get the fucking prime minister to do that, or the king to do that. Not the queen anymore, or the king to do that.
We're never going to get them we could have a word in his ear. I mean, we only need to lean a little bit towards him, and we're pretty close to it. So
yeah.
Oh god, sorry, royalists, don't kill me. I'm just saying he's got big ears. It's fine.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, I mean, we've got things like the Prince's Trust. I mean, it's not out the realm of possibility for him to do something like that. It's just, it needs to be fucking done, because how epic is this? 2.4 million people. I don't even know what the population of the Dubai is. Of Dubai. 3.31 million. So that is like...
Fuck. Almost all of
Over
them.
2/3 of them, well over 2/3 of them doing it, and you're probably like talking about tiny little kids. Oh, well, that was in 2019, so it might be a bit more than that now.
Yeah, but like,
3.6 million.
what's stopping people from going to their local councils? You know what I mean, and setting that up in their local councils, and then that's
Hmm.
only going to then snowball from there. You know, for instance, we could just go to Falmouth Town Council and go, look, January, let's run a challenge, try and get as
Hmm.
many local people as fit as possible. Make it a charitable thing, maybe, and just don't they raise money for charity, whatever, for a local charity. And let's actively all band together and get people fit. You can link all the gyms in together, you know, fuck it,
Hmm.
why not?
Yeah.
Mate, yeah, fuck, the shit like this needs to be done more. And then that's a whole month. You can set some habits in a month. You know, I know we
Yeah.
normally say about 12 weeks, but a month, you can set some good habits in that month, especially the right time of year. So, fuck, man, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, here we go. I mean, on that front, as the Buy Fitness Challenge wraps up its 7th year, its legacy will continue to inspire individuals to prioritize their health and well-being. The challenge has
Mm,
ignited a passion for fitness within the community, encouraging people to make long-term lifestyle changes that will benefit them for years to come. So
mm,
this, like, as a united, this is brilliant. As a united community, we strive for a fitter and healthier future. Like,
mm,
how good is that for a place where you're not allowed to wear bikini or swimwear? That's pretty fucking impressive. Do you know what I mean? That's
hmm
like, let's
hmm
just do it. Like, let's do it because it makes people better. Like, it really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. I think it's a great blueprint that should be taken
Mm.
up in as many countries as possible.
Yeah, definitely. What like, and you can make it as accessible as you need to, even if it's just a
Hmm.
like, if you just sign up to do a steps challenge, or you sign up to just do like a little bit of exercise a day, just like just a simple stuff. You could have so much on there that you could get people to do.
What I love about the idea of this is it says it had a couple of mega events in there as well. That to me, like, imagine having three. So you have one event to kick it off, one in the middle, and one right at the
Mm-hmm.
end. Everybody will stay
Mm-hmm.
on track if you've got things like that happening. Like, it's
Yeah.
because it's only 2 weeks between each event. So you've got number one right at the
Mm.
beginning, number two in the middle, number three at the end. That's only 2 weeks between each one. Everybody is going to stick to it for those
Mm.
2 weeks in between because it's going to be great. Yeah, what a blueprint.
Yeah, fucking great idea. Fair play to Dubai for getting that done and getting that many people involved, which is absolutely
Yeah.
fucking
I mean,
mental.
you can probably see the picture on the top of the article. That just
Mm.
looks fucking awesome in itself. But
Mm.
yeah, guys, I'll put the article in the show notes. Have a read through it. And yeah, I don't know whether it's slightly biased because it is a UAE, United Arab Emirates publication, but I'm sure it's completely accurate. Like, there's nothing
Mm.
different in there. So yeah, how fucking awesome is that?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think, I can imagine that's going to spark some conversation between us anyway, Josh, like moving forward after
Mm.
this. So yeah, it's good. But let's leave it. Let's leave the current news there. And we're going to go into Fit Talk now, Josh.
Mm.
And for Fit Talk today, it's going to play a quick game of Would You Rather. And
Okay.
right now, I need to find it. There it is. So you have to tell me what you would rather, and
Mm.
you have to justify your explanation. Okay. So I've only got 6 questions here. One, two, three, four, five. Oh, maybe seven. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, I've got 7 questions here. And I would like you to tell me exactly which one and why. So, number one,
Mm-hmm.
would you rather. Wait a minute. First of all, I need to preempt this. Do you remember the film Road Trip?
Oh, mate, that's fucking old school.
Do you
That's
remember
a
the skinny
long time.
guy who gets laid with the rather voluptuous and large black lady?
I think so. Yeah, yeah, I
He's
think
like
so.
proper skinny. Do you remember him?
Yeah, let me have a look.
Who else could I use as an analogy for this?
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, yeah, I know who you mean now. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
he's
right.
got a
So,
helmet on. Yeah.
yeah. Would you rather be able to lift 300 kilos but
Mm-hmm.
have his physique,
Yep.
or would you be absolutely jacked but only be able to lift 20% of all your current lifts?
Jacked every day of the week. Yeah.
Okay. Why?
Yeah, just because it doesn't matter then, I'll just look wicked, wouldn't I? You know what I mean? The other reason is, yeah, it'd be cool to lift 300 kilos, and also then, like, if I was, like, as skinny as that guy and lifted 300 kilos, I'd love to go to, like, competitions and just
It'd be so much
actually,
fun.
do you know what? I'm thinking about that now. Let me change that, 'cause if you were as skinny as that guy, he probably weighs what, like 50 fucking kilos or something, 50, 60
Yeah.
kilos.
Yeah.
You would be the best powerlifter in the world.
You would, weight pound for pound by a long
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, maybe that's the better route. But then also looking jacked, man. I don't know.
Yeah. But that would give you like, wait a minute, so 20% of your max lift. So what, you'd be able to bench like 5 kilos? Something like that.
Dude.
Okay, so you'll be able to bench, but I mean, yeah, only be able to bench like a plate on each side of the bar or something like that. You'd only be able to deadlift like, what's that, 40 kilos? Yeah. Oh no,
Dude.
80 kilos.
I don't know what 20% of 205 is. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
not much, mate. I Yeah, but at least you never have to worry about getting injured. You know what I
True.
mean? Because you're never lifting heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Be just weak.
Yeah, yeah, but if I look
It's all right.
fucking good, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
just for context, I would choose the jacked one as well. As
Yeah,
much as I would
exactly.
love to be able to lift 300 kilos, even at my current weight, if I was ridiculously skinny with it, I'm just like I just I wouldn't feel right. So yeah, jacked would be the good one.
Yeah, of
Okay,
course it would.
okay. So we're both jacked on that one there. Yeah, I'm guessing.
Hmm.
Would you rather? And so both of these ones are good. So we haven't got one bad one and one like both of these are good. Would you rather have the relative strength of an ant, which is roughly 20 times,
Oh fuck yeah.
or the relative jump ability of a flea, which is roughly 80 times body length? So that's 20 times body weight, or being able to jump 80 times body length.
Okay, few things to discuss here.
You wouldn't
So
die if
lift.
you jumped that high, by the way. I'm just
Okay,
saying.
okay, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
if I
your
jump,
body would not. Your body is evolved to pull up with either of these.
yeah, so I can land and not break both my legs. Is that's
Hmm.
essentially it? Do you know
Yeah, yeah.
what? I think there is more use in the flea ability than there is ant ability, mainly because
Oh, go on.
because I'd you're essentially if 80 times, right? 80 times you jump. So say I can jump 2 meters, right?
Hmm.
So I can jump 160 meters. No,
No, no.
yeah.
So it's 80 times your body length. So you're
All
not
right.
quite 2 meters. So
So
not far
no,
off that. Is to be fair.
no,
Yeah, yeah.
still fucking
Oh yeah,
ridiculous,
fucking
right? For a
far. Yeah,
jump.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I could jump on top of buildings. I could jump, I could jump a stupendous distance.
Hmm.
You're essentially a superhero. That
You
is
are.
that is you're essentially yeah. I know lifting 20 times is what is that 20 times your body weight?
Yeah, 20 times your body weight. Yeah.
Okay, so let's see this here. So let's just say I'm this. So I could lift if I could pick up 1,800 kilos, right? That's stupid. But there's still
Yeah.
things there's quite a lot of things heavier than that. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
couldn't stop a train. I could pick up some shit, but then there's a point where it's like you're gonna be right, I can pick up a car maybe. I could pick up a small car. I couldn't pick up a big car, but I couldn't stop anything really, really big. So I'm not that cool in terms of like being super strength. Whereas
Right.
actually,
You're not that cool being able to. Yeah. Okay.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not that cool if I can only and like they can't throw. It's not going to be throwing power. It's just going to be picking up power, really, isn't it? You don't see ants
I mean,
throwing
you could
shit.
lift it above your head, put it that way, because like
Yeah,
we're talking about,
fine,
yeah, hence,
but
yeah.
I can only lift a small car
Technically
above
with
my
your
head.
jaw as well, I guess, but
Yeah,
let's just keep it as arms. Yeah.
so I could pick up a small car, or
Hmm.
I could jump on top of a building. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking way cooler. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100% fleet all the way, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to go with you on that one. The only thing that I am a little bit worried about is landing.
But
It's all
you
very
just
well
said it
and
was
good.
fine.
It is. No, no, no. I'm not talking about the physicality of landing. I'm talking about knowing where you're going to land. It's all very well and good for a flea because they've got mostly good open spaces to see it. But as a human, like you're not quite sure because you can't adjust halfway through the jump, can you? But yeah,
Oh yeah,
I
if you can do flips and shit.
like Spider-Man. Just wear a wingsuit all
Oh,
the time. You'll be fine.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, that'd be good. Okay, yeah. So we are both on the same one. I would pick Flea of the 80 times jump as well because that is
Hmm.
just ridiculous. Hopefully, though, along with that doesn't come the same biomechanics because the legs would look really strange.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I like this one. This is one of my favorite ones. You wake up. I really want to know which one you're going to go for. Actually, I think I know, but the other part of me thinks I don't. So you wake up with no memory of your past life and you're in a Tibetan town. Would you, or village, would you rather be taken in and taught the ways of A, an enlightened, peaceful, but highly skilled warrior monk monastery, or B, a ninja assassin clan?
Oh, dude, what the fuck? That's so hard.
Yeah, I thought it would be. So I think yeah, I know which one I would go for, but I was like, oh, I don't know which one you'll go for.
Okay, so here's shit. Is the Ninja Assassin clan like modernized, or is it just like old school ninjas?
Both. They're so it's like old school ninja. Think the Batman Begins,
Yeah.
but probably they also use like guns as well
So like
as everything else.
Raz Al
Ra's al
Ghul.
Ghul, yeah, yeah, that kind of thing, yeah.
Oh, dude. So it's the thing, right? Because
hmm
um, I think because we don't know, I think becoming enlightened and being like a monk is probably you'll probably more. I don't know if happy is the word, but you're content. I guess
hmm
you'll have a better life doing that in comparison to if you become an assassin ninja. Your life is probably very, I say high stress, but you're taught to deal with that stress, and it's you're flirting with death on a regular basis, right?
hmm
So, do I want to have that exciting flirt with death, fucking John Wick level style of life, or do I want to be like sat on a tiptoe in a waterfall, like juggling? Oh man, fuck! This one's fucking me up. I think there's two sides. I'm like split in half here. I'm really split in half. I am so split in half of this. And the thing is, what you could learn as a ninja, you probably, if you're saying the monks are highly skilled martial artists, they'll be able to do the ninja shit. So it's just whether or not you want to kill people, right? So
you have to abide by the way of life of both of these as well.
yeah. See, the bad side of me saying ninja and the good side of me saying monk, and I feel like for once in my life I should choose the good thing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say monk, just because probably it will be a nicer life, but there is a side of me
I
that's
can
going
see the
fucking be a
torment
ninja.
in you right now. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh, it's so hard. It's
I
so
I
hard.
would go ninja assassin the whole way
Of course you would.
because
Yeah.
you get to see the world, kill a few people, see more of the world, and like
Mm.
yeah, just be an absolute badass along the way.
You, you say that, but I don't think the monk will be bothered. That's what's tearing me
Yeah,
up
it
a bit,
wouldn't.
is because I
Yeah,
don't think they'll be bothered because they're
yeah,
just
loser.
content.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah,
Don't
but
want to see
I'd
the
still
world.
kick your ass. I'll be kick your ass because I'm a monk.
And that's the thing. The monk would probably win the fight because that's
Well,
how it always plays around in films. But yeah, I
mm,
thought that would mess you up a bit. Yeah, I would choose Ninja Assassin definitely, but you would choose the monk.
yeah.
Okay, we
Yeah.
know. So if our business relationship ever falls apart, we go our separate ways after like investing in years of like physical betterment and mental betterment. I'm probably going to go on the dark path, and you're going to go on the light path, and
Yeah.
then we'll meet as
I'm
old people. And yeah.
I'm Obi-Wan and you're fucking Anakin.
How does that even work? You are not. you're 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 Obi Wan, and I'm literally the Emperor compared to you.
Yeah, you're Palpatine, the wrinkly old man. That's
Yeah,
that's who
saggy
you
old
are. Yeah.
fuck. Okay, going back to something a little bit more realistic. Like these are actually probably, well, they are definitely achievable on this one. Would you rather be able to hold a strict handstand for 5 minutes, completely straight
Mm.
as a post, or perform a pistol squat with your body weight on a barbell?
Handstand.
I thought it would be handstand.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I think they're
What?
fucking. I think it's so cool.
Shit, so
I
cool.
just think it's so cool. Pistol squats are great, but
Hmm.
doing my body weight, that's fine. But like, I'd rather just squat heavy. You know what I mean? Fucking handstands. I just think are awesome, and I'd love to be able to hold a handstand for 5 minutes.
Okay, cool. I'm the same. Yeah, same
Hmm.
as I. I just like the idea because I've always had weak shoulders. When I used to do CrossFit, if it came to a WOD and handstand push-ups were in it, I knew I was not completing that WOD basically. So yeah, my
Mm,
shoulders just aren't that good for handstands, and I really like the balance. I think it's amazing. Okay, Wolverines. Would you rather have Wolverine's healing factor, or
mm.
but without the age on this one? So it's just you can heal, but you still age, or Spider-Man's agility, but not the web slinging, just the agility.
So you mean like his spidey sense?
No,
Is
not even
that,
that. Just his agility. So his ability to like jump really high, do all the flips and stuff like that. Be like the
mm.
gymnast that he is, but taken obviously several magnitudes of order higher, or be able to heal your wounds like Wolverine. But you don't. But you
Wolverine?
don't have any of the other powers. So Wolverine is just his healing factor, or the ability of Spider-Man and his ability to
Mm.
jump and flip and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean Wolverine's other powers only like being able to smell shit and
Hmm.
having bone claws. So I
Yeah,
mean,
and
the
not
healing
aging.
factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the not aging is due to his healing factor, right?
Yeah, exactly. But
That's
I'm taking that away. I'm taking that out of the
yeah.
equation.
So yeah, no, Wolverine for sure. I wouldn't be worried. I would take way more risk because there's still a risk having that agility factor. I would take
Mhm.
way more fucking risk if I had Wolverine's healing ability. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be doing everything. Just like,
Mm.
yeah, whatever. I might get fucking I might break a leg, but it doesn't matter. It'll heal back.
Just yeah, sort that shit out.
Mm,
Okay, I'm going to go different. I'm going to go Spider-Man's agility on that one. Just the ability to fucking because he can still jump from the floor to the top of a building, and he can
mm,
jump off buildings and stuff like that. And I just love the idea of being able to do that. Like it's yeah, I would go for Spider-Man's agility.
mm,
I definitely know what the answer to this is, but I asked this to a group the other day, and I was interested by the answers. So, would you rather? I know exactly what you're going to say. Have a personal chef 24/7 or access
mm.
to any sport or strength coach in the world 24/7?
Personal chef.
Yeah, same here. So,
Fucking
interestingly,
obviously.
I asked a group this the other day, and all the women said sport and strength coach, and the guys said personal chef. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, oh, that's an interesting split. So,
100%.
why a chef?
Well, the sport and strength coach, having access to them, you can basically get access to everybody's fucking mind on the internet anyway.
Hmm.
So like I can go online and find everything that say Louis Simmons from West Side Barbell has said and
Hmm.
understand that. Or it doesn't take you don't need crazy planning to do all the sport and strength coach stuff, but the time you would save
Yeah.
on cooking and all of that, and then like the prevention of eating shit because somebody else is making that food for you and having
Hmm.
oh my god, life would be
It
amazing.
would be so much easier. Yeah, so much easier. It's like think how easy your life is when you do your own food prep, and then multiply that by 10, and that's how your life would be.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm with you
mm,
on the chef, like 100%, just because it's oh god, yeah, it's just so easy, and just knowing that you can hit your macros. He's going to make it taste nice, or she's going to make it taste nice for you, so they know what your exact macros are. They know exactly what you want. You can just ring them up and say, "Tomorrow I want X, Y, Z." As long as you hit my macros with healthy, good quality food, I'm happy. So
mm.
yeah, that would be mine as well. Oh, I didn't finish off the last one. Would you, and I think I've asked you this before as well, and I can't remember what your answer is. Would you rather never have to sleep
Mm.
or have free flights for the rest of your life to anywhere you want to
go? Sleep.
Ooh, interesting. Why is that?
Our most valuable commodity, I guess, is
Mm-hmm.
time. And there's the thing that we will never, ever, ever, ever get back. And if I don't have to sleep, like there's no health problems with me not sleeping, and I will be just as fine as normal, and I still recover. Fucking like essentially, well, not doubling your time, but adding a third of your time to your life.
Yeah.
To so it would change then. If the missus is sleeping all night, I do all my work at night,
Yeah.
and then in the
Get it done,
get all my work done at night, and then in the day I can still do other work if I need to, or not.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that we cannot change, is the amount of time
Mm-hmm.
we have. We can potentially hope to have more towards the end of life, but that's it. So
Mm-hmm.
fucking yeah. And then that way I might be able to fly more anyway, because I'm potentially making more money or doing whatever. So
Yeah.
fucking sleep, 100%.
Yeah. So I would say sleep as well, but the one thing that I'm curious about is we don't know, and it's not because I prefer the flight things. That would be fucking awesome. But my only reservation I have about the sleep is we don't fully understand what the process of dreaming does for us. So that was I went a bit deep when I was thinking about it. I was like, well, what do dreams actually do for us? We still don't know, blah blah blah. But yeah, in terms of a pure time thing, then not having to sleep, just take the amount of stress it would relieve from your life.
Mm.
Probably until you start filling up with other stuff anyway, because I know what we're like. We'd probably both do that. But yeah, it would be pretty fucking epic to have an extra 8 hours a day or 7 hours, depending on how much you sleep a day added to your life.
Yeah, man, it would be fucking awesome. It would be so good to have that much more time.
Okay, well, that was our Fit Talk for today, and that was edition 1 of Would You Rather. I expect there will be another one in the future because it is quite a fun game to play. But let's go on to our study time. Today's study time, I'm surprised I didn't see this one sooner, actually. It's from November the 22nd, which is a couple of weeks ago, nearly 3 weeks ago. And this one is from the University of Wisconsin, Madison. And a new study in mice shows that cutting down the amount of a single amino acid called isoleucine can, among other benefits, extend their lifespan, make them leaner and less frail as they age, and reduce cancer and prostate problems, all while the mice ate more calories. There's a popular saying in some circles that a calorie is a calorie, but science shows that it may not be true. In fact, it may be possible to eat more of some kinds of calories whilst also improving your health. We like to say a calorie is not just a calorie, says Dudley Lamming, a professor and metabolism researcher at the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health. Different components of your diet have value and impact beyond their function as a calorie, and we've been digging in on one component that many people may be eating too much of. Lamming is a lead author of a new study in mice published recently in the journal Cell Metabolism, showing that cutting down the amount of a single amino acid called isoleucine can, among other benefits, extend their lifespan, making them leaner and less frail as they age, and reduce cancer and prostate problems, all while the mice ate more calories. Amino acids are molecular building blocks of proteins, and Lamming and his colleagues are interested in their connection to healthy aging. Excuse me, I just need to cough. In earlier research data from UW-Madison's survey of the health of Wisconsin showed the scientists that Wisconsinites with higher body mass index measurements tend to consume more isoleucine, an essential amino acid everyone needs to eat. Isoleucine is plentiful in foods, including eggs, dairy, soy protein, and many kinds of meat. To understand its health effects, Lamming and collaborators from across disciplines at UW Madison fed genetically diverse mice either a balanced controlled diet, a version of the balanced diet that was low in a group of about 20 amino acids, or a diet formulated to cut out 2/3 of the diet's isoleucine. The mice, which began the study at 6 months of age, which is equivalent to a 30-year-old person, got to eat as much as they wanted. Very quickly, we saw the mice on reduced isoleucine diet lose adiposity. Their bodies got leaner, they lost fat, says Lamming, while the bodies of the mice on the low amino acid diet also got leaner to start, but eventually regained weight and fat. Mice on the low isoleucine diet lived longer, on average 33% longer for males and 7% longer for females. And based on 26 measures of health, including assessments ranging from muscle strength and endurance to tail use and even hair loss, the low isoleucine mice were in much better shape during their extended lives. Previous research has shown lifespan increase with low calorie and low protein or low amino acid diets starting in very young mice, says Lamming, whose work is supported by the National Institute of Health. We started with mice that were already getting older. It's interesting and encouraging to think a dietary change can still make such a big difference in lifespan and what we call health span, even when it's started closer to midlife. The mice on the low isoleucine diet chowed down, eating significantly more calories than their study counterparts, probably to try to make up for getting less isoleucine, according to Lamming. But they also burned far more calories, losing and then maintaining leaner body weight simply through adjustments in metabolism, not by getting more exercise. At the same time, Lamming says they maintained steadier blood sugar levels, and male mice experienced less age related prostate enlargement. And while cancer is the leading cause of death for the diverse strain of mice in the study, the low isoleucine males were less likely to develop a tumor. I may as well finish off, there's not too much more. Dietary amino acids are linked to a gene called mTOR that appears to be a lever on the aging process in mice and other animals, as well as to a hormone that manages the body's response to cold and has been considered a potential diabetes drug candidate for human patients. But the mechanism behind the stark benefits of low isoleucine intake is not well understood. Lamming thinks the new study results may help future research pick apart causes. That we see less benefit for female mice than male mice is something we may be able to use to get to that mechanism, he says. While the results are promising, humans do need isoleucine to live, and winnowing a significant amount of isoleucine out of a diet that hasn't been pre-formulated by a mouse chow company is not an easy task. We can't just switch everyone to a low isoleucine diet, Lamming says, but narrowing these benefits down to a single amino acid gets us closer to understanding the biological processes and maybe potential interventions for humans, like an isoleucine blocking drug. The survey of the health of Wisconsin showed that people vary in isoleucine intake, with leaner participants tending to eat a diet lower in isoleucine. Other data from Lamming's lab suggests that overweight and obese Americans may be eating significantly more isoleucine than they need. Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. The problem is, so you won't like this, shouldn't like this really, because isoleucine is essentially anything. If we fucking beef, chicken, pork, fish, all that sort of food. So it's essentially, you want to be a vegan and you would cut out isoleucine, but also an isoleucine deficiency can be common in older people and leads to weakening and wasting of muscle and tremors. So, and where it says, yeah, it's a balancing act, and where it says that Americans are predominantly overeating isoleucine, it's not that they're overeating isoleucine. We know what it is that they're all eating highly processed meats like barbecues and stuff like that, and that's what the problem is. The problem isn't really isoleucine. The problem is that actually they're fucking just overeating. And I get it. Maybe there is something to do with isoleucine. Like it said, it's linked to mTOR, which is an aging fucking whatever it is. Maybe that's it. And also, like I've said this before, and I'll carry on saying it. There's a reason that these reactions are happening in the body and are getting us to age. So yes, we need, like, isoleucine is essential for us for maintaining muscle mass and keeping strong muscles, but also then it potentially causes us to age. Well, that's because aging is fucking natural. You know what I mean? It's something that's meant to be. We're not meant to live forever. So they keep, like we're saying, it's a balancing act. And if they're trying to then, make us live longer, but are we then living longer and, being weaker as we age? And should we really be trying to play God?
So I'm going to attack this from a slightly different area, because isoleucine and leucine, they're amino acids. And amino acids are the building blocks of everything that happens in the body, especially building muscle. Now, what that study hasn't gone into is exercise. So if someone's exercising and actually putting isoleucine to a good use, does that then
Yeah.
give us the same effect as reducing isoleucine? Because the isoleucine is actually doing what it should be in the body in terms of metabolic pathways for exercise and the kind of activity human beings have been doing for however long we've been about on the earth, up until the last 50 years, where we've just taken desk jobs. So it's anabolic, obviously, because it is an amino acid. It will be helping to build muscle. So my theory is, well, is it just looking too far into? It's good that it's been nailed out, and I actually do. Unlike the other things, I actually do see some benefits of this study and trying to balance that out. But I would like to see it, if it ever comes around to human trials, where the differences are between someone who is working out and someone who isn't. And my hypothesis would be that reducing it too much in someone who is working out, which everybody should be because of all the other benefits, you would then start to see a negative impact if you reduce it
Yeah.
in someone who has a fit and healthy, active lifestyle.
And there's also something to say for, like, all of these studies we read that are mouse studies, the animal studies, they're just not far enough along yet to be credible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're mouse studies. We don't know if it's biased or not. We don't know. It's not a randomized, controlled, fucking meta-analysis, whatever. It's not that kind of thing. It's not that. It's not got a huge pool of humans that they've tested on. So, like, it could all be dog shit. But yeah, it's like you said. It would be good to mix these things with exercise, all of that. But I think eventually there is going to become a point where somebody discovers the ultimate balance, right?
Yeah.
Well, or even maybe they won't. Maybe they might discover the ultimate balance, but
For them.
for them or one sect of people, and but eventually it's gonna get to the point where, right, you can live forever, but you're gonna live forever and be frail, or you can be fit to a certain stage, but you're gonna get to 90-year-old and then you're gonna die. Like this. That's where it's gonna get to, because you can only fine tune this so much, I think. So yeah, who knows? But with studies like this, you've got to be careful, because the isoleucine this study, all it will do will fuel vegans in saying that that's the healthiest way you can be, because isoleucine's in meat and stuff, and that's causing aging, and that's why people are dying. So when actually what's really happening is people are just overeating and
Yeah, and like you said earlier on, like with the processed foods and stuff like that, the one thing in this study that I do fully agree with is, yeah, a calorie is not just a calorie. Otherwise,
No.
if it fits your macros, people would all of them would be completely healthy, even the ones who are eating Pop Tarts and McDonald's to hit their macros, but they're not.
Oh
That's where
yeah.
a calorie is not just a calorie. In terms of energy, yeah, it really is, but in terms of other things, no, a calorie is not just a calorie. So I agree with that, but yeah, it's. I think sometimes we're just looking so far, and I get why, but sometimes we're looking so far into ways that we don't have to work hard to achieve something that we missed a point. Like we're just looking for shortcuts all the way. And again,
Yeah.
I get it in these respects, but putting those ideas out to the world isn't really helpful. It's good for medical purposes, but I don't think it should be like the go-to purpose. But that's just me.
Yep. Wow. There you go.
It's what it is. Anyway, let's move on to the hot topic. And today's hot topic is about the other variables. And I've done one specifically, I think, on rest times before, but we're going to go into some other ones. So my results here are to help you understand your workouts better. It's as simple as that. The drivers is to get better results from all your workouts, and the actions. We're going to list some of the other variables that you have in a workout that you might not think about as much.
Mm.
So you've got the standard ones that everybody thinks about. That's reps, sets, and usually weight if you're actually lifting weights and not just doing body weight stuff. But they're the ones most people think. I was like, oh, okay, how many reps, how many sets, and what weight am I doing?
Mm.
But that's just like the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, granted, it's a good place to start, but there's a lot more other stuff you can focus on to actually get variation in your workout when you need it. And this other stuff is just as important as everything else if you really want to tweak, especially if you're aiming for particular strength gains or particular muscle mass gains, these things will actually come into play a hell of a lot more. And especially when you're talking about like bodybuilding and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about this stuff now. So the first three are going to cover things that you do actually within just a single workout. Sometimes it's just a single exercise, and then the second lot we're going to talk about total exercise throughout the week as well. So
Mm.
the first variable that we're going to talk about is tempo. So
Yes.
tempo is often underutilized, and we've actually put tempo on. I don't know how many of the workout programs on the app they're actually on, Josh. I can't remember, to be honest, but we've
Pretty
put
much most of them have
most of
some
them.
form
Okay.
of tempo though. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So tempo, a lot of workout programs have them, and it's probably the most ignored segment of a workout that I ever see
Mm.
for like online workouts and stuff like that. But tempo is amazing. It does a lot of things. One of the things that, if you've been a long time listener, when me and Josh were doing a transformation challenge last winter, we put tempo in specifically to make sure that we were being humbled ourselves, to make sure that we were
Mm.
nailing all the moves that we were doing, to make sure they kept us honest, that we weren't cheating them, that we were taking our muscles through through the right timing and making sure the contractions and everything were there. So for those who don't know what a tempo is, it's usually expressed with 3 or 4 numbers. I usually use the 4 number format, the first of which is always the lowering of the weight. So, for example, I'll always use a bicep curl. It's the easiest one for people to visualize. If you're holding a bicep curl at the top where your bicep is contracted, the first number would be the downward one, so leaving that contracted. So let's say it's 4 seconds. So 4 seconds would be lowering the bicep curl. Then the next number would be the pause at the bottom. The third number would be the coming back up, and the fourth number would be the pause at the top. It can catch people out sometimes because it feels like you start at different places. For instance, with a squat, you start at the top and then you go straight into the
Mm.
downward one. Whereas with a shoulder press, you actually start at the bottom, you have to go up and then pause at the top, then come down, which is where the
Mm.
numbers can get confusing a little bit. But as long as you remember the first number is always a downward bit, then you're golden with that.
Oh, actually, no. Sorry.
Go on.
The first number isn't always the downward bit; it's the stretch portion. Yeah, because the only reason I say this is it confuses people on a lat pull down,
Yes, it
right?
does. You were
Yeah,
100%
yeah.
right there. Yeah, yeah,
So the lat
yeah.
pull down is so it's the stretch portion of an exercise. So with the lat pull down, it's actually the going up, which is the
hmm
4 seconds,
But still
which is the
lowering
first
the
number.
weight, which is
Yeah,
important.
still lowering the
Yes.
weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
So
that's it.
I
Yeah.
understand exactly what you're saying, but I
Yeah.
know what people are like. People will get confused or like stuff like the lat pull down, maybe even a seated row because it's
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
kind of plane. But anything where the weight is going back to the stack or you're
hmm
lowering the weight, that what people think is then maybe the easier part of the exercise and usually do really
Yeah.
fast. That's the bit. Yeah.
That is it.
It-
Yeah. So yeah, that's. I'm glad you pointed that out actually, because that is so
mm,
true. Because the amount of time
yeah.
I've done tempo work and people do get confused on on that
Lap,
is yeah, it
yeah.
happens all the time on that pull down. So it's whenever you're lengthening the muscle, then basically, which is the
Hmm.
stretching the muscle is the best way to think about it. And
Yeah.
you can use different tempos with different things. And what I really like about this and the a lot of the other variables is, even if you were just to change the tempo, run the same workout, you could probably make a single workout last a fucking year if all you played with was the tempo, because it's going to give you
Mm,
such a different effect. It's going to be absolutely mental. What was that
mm.
disgusting one, Josh, you told me about with like was it 10-second squats or something like that? It
Oh
was
yeah. So Klokov, Dmitry Klokov is a famous like Olympic lifter, and he
Mm,
has he calls them clock off squats, where it's 10 seconds down and then 10 seconds up. And Eddie Cohen actually Eddie Cohen talks a lot about it for squats as well. He's saying people need to know exactly where they are at every portion of squats. So he does 10-second squats for people. But me and Sam were doing a powerlifting program, and I programmed in 10 seconds clock off front squats. So 10 seconds down, 10 seconds up front squats at the start of each workout, just like 3 sets of 3. But one set still 30 seconds of work of just like slow. And I think we got to like 60 something kilos. So still, it doesn't sound like much, but for 10 seconds down, 10 seconds up,
man, that's a lot. That is a hell of a lot. And look, there's a lot of all you need to know about this, guys, is that it will build serious strength and muscle. Okay, if you can slow down a rep, it's not that there is a bell curve on this. It's not the ultimate way to build strength ultimately, but it's really fucking good for building muscle. That if you're doing like 4 seconds down and like 2 or 3 seconds up, you're going to build a shitload of muscle with a little contraction at the top as well, like maybe a 2-second hold at the top. That's amazing. But even that tempo for strength work as well, because we actually do more damage to our muscles on the downward part. So if you can control it on the way down, your muscles are going to build up strength. And control down, explode up, that is going to build up some serious strength as well. So tempo, well worth having to play with.
It's the one thing as well, the most people, that's the one thing I have to correct, is for them to slow down, in the training, because that you're missing out on almost every exercise. You're missing out on half the work, because there's a lot of argument to say that the eccentric portion of the rep, that stretch portion, is more important for hypertrophy than anything else. There'll be arguments across the board on that all the time, but it is something you need to be doing. And the one that always fucks me off is when people are doing arms and they're just like fucking blitzing out curls. It's like, slow it down and you'll fuck your biceps up and you'll be so much better. But it's because ego, isn't it? It gets in the way.
So funny you should say that, because this takes us very nicely onto the next point, which is the next variable. And just like you get pissed off, bicep curls for me, this is the one I see all the goddamn time. Range of motion. Range of motion mixed with tempo is just an absolute king if you want to mess yourself up or mess someone else up if you're a trainer. A bicep curl is not keeping your elbows at 90 degrees and swinging your elbows backwards and forwards actually from your shoulders. That's not a bicep curl. That's not what you should be doing. If you're doing a tempo bicep curl and coming all the way, bringing your pinkies all the way up to your shoulders and then keeping your elbows locked in, fully extending your arms, not just taking them to 90 degrees, you are going to get untold more amounts of growth. This is something we've said before. You get strong in the range of motion you work in. You don't get strong in the range of motions you don't. You'll be a little bit of carryover, but essentially you are exactly what you just said, Josh, about the tempo. You're missing out on the majority of the gains here if you're not taking a full range of motion. And it is purely fucking ego driven. It is always ego driven because it's just want to put more weight, rock your shoulders and make it look like you're lifting up some weight, which is fine. But yeah. Increase that range of motion.
There is a slight caveat with with range of motion, and I've always been on the full ROM bench. I'm always there. That's where I've been. But there's a recent study done. We've kind of talked about him before. There's a guy called Milo Wolf, who's on a Muscle and Feels podcast, I think it is, and he's done a study on stretched partial reps. So essentially you start at the fully stretched portion of the rep, so like in the bottom of a squat, and then do half reps, right? And he's done a study on that on a lot of different muscle groups and actually found that it's either the same or can be better in some cases in terms of hypertrophy. But this is where I think this is different, is a lot of people do partial reps the other way around, right? They'll do like from the full shrunk, like, so do from the top of the squat down and then up. But this is from a fully stretched position into halfway up and then back down. So yes, you can put that into
to put it into the context of a bicep curl, just because everyone understands it, that's the difference from starting up at your shoulder and then just literally just opening your arms up a bit. what Josh is talking about is starting with your hands right down by your side and then bringing
Yeah.
them up like halfway up as opposed to bringing them
Yeah.
all the way up. Yeah, that's the difference.
And that's not something to do, like, I'm not saying do all your workouts stretch partial reps, but that is something you can throw in if you
Yeah.
fancied it, is to do like stretch partials. But to be honest, I think still full range of motion is more beneficial for people from a functionality standpoint
Yeah,
of
definitely.
understanding how to move correctly. And also, it saves too much confusion. If you just give people full ROM stuff, it's better.
Yeah. Bless you.
Sorry, yes.
Like a big sneeze. Yeah, I think that's one of the main things. Like most of the people we train in Gen Pop, like I don't train any
Yeah.
athletes. For the
Yeah,
idea of giving
exactly.
them partial reps is absolutely pointless,
Yeah.
unless it's something specific. Like some of the people we do is like body weight stuff, and if you're working on the rings, then yeah, sometimes partial reps on the ring might be helpful just to build up your
Yeah,
strength
yeah.
in one particular range. But most of the time, the majority of the time, for functionality, for growth, for general health, you want to be taking everything for a full range of motion. I
Mm,
will put one more caveat on this though. If you're hypermobile, you don't want to be taking everything through as much range as you're capable of. You want to be taking it through a range that is actually safe and keeps your joints healthy. If you can go too
mm.
far with it, you kind of want to build up your muscles to a point where they reduce your hypermobility. Actually, you essentially want to reduce your extra mobility you've got by strengthening up your muscles around the joint.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But yeah, great. Full range of motion, get it in.
Mm-hmm. Next one, guys, is rest. Like I'm a big
Mm.
proponent of rest, and it is such a strong variable. Like if you are used to resting for 90 seconds and you do it all the damn time, try a 60-second rest or a 45-second rest. See how much more fucked up you get from doing that. But
Mm.
conversely, if you only ever take 45 seconds or 60 seconds rest, you'll be surprised at how much more strength you regain in that 30 seconds, which could also propel your strength and growth gains as well. So, if you're
Yeah.
constantly only taking one type of rest break, then try messing with that timing a little bit and then see the difference because I guarantee there will be one.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of things, isn't it? It depends on what it is you're looking for. If you
Mm-hmm.
find that you're not really feeling like you're getting fucked up enough, or your capacity is not as good as you want it to be, then maybe reducing your rest time's great. However, if you find that you're plateauing in strength or muscle gain, then
Mm-hmm.
extending your rest times to even, like, some top end guys will say 5 minutes
Yeah,
between
yeah.
sets. You can go that far, especially in the strength world and actually in the
Mm-hmm.
muscle building world as well. So play with it. I think with the rest situation, it is definitely more individual. So making
Yeah.
sure that it's different strokes for different folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you find that actually resting a bit longer, you can perform better and you're getting better results, then great. So play with it a little bit. But one thing I always say about rest is, I think that what people need to do is actually time it, because people will think they're resting for a minute, but they've actually
Mm-hmm.
rested for like 3 minutes because they're chatting or they're on the phone. One, put your phone away, and two, time your rest and just see where you are, because you may think you're resting for shorter than what you actually are.
Yeah, also conversely to that though, the amount of people I see that want to rush through their rest because they
Yeah,
don't feel like they're achieving anything because they're
yeah,
resting. That is bullshit. You need
mm,
to be able to get that rest time in as well. So it definitely works both ways on that, guys. Make sure have a play with it. Definitely time, like you said, time your rest
mm,
and then
yeah,
see what you default to, and then maybe try changing it up one way or the other and see where you can get to on that. A simple rule of thumb is the heavier you're going, the more rest you need to let your CNS recover a little bit. But
mm,
you can even play with that in terms of rest as well. So that's fine. So they're the intro workouts one. We talked about tempo, range of motion, and rest. But then there's another couple of variables as well that I want to touch on. And that is when you look at your exercise throughout the week. And one is frequency. And Josh, I remember you spoke. I can't remember if it was a hot topic or a study you talked about on this, but we talked about what the ultimate amount of sets and stuff was during the week,
Mm,
like throughout the week. But
mm,
usually, you want to be hitting a muscle group. Just as a good rule of thumb, you want to be hitting a muscle group twice a week. Like that's at least twice a week if you want to encourage strength and
mm,
growth. If you're hitting it just the once, then you've got a whole 7 days of rest of that muscle group before you get back to it. So you're not really going to elicit
mm,
much growth or strength gains through that.
mm. Yeah. Frequency is super important.
Hmm.
I I think people are always. I mean, we've talked about this before in terms of how hard people exercise, right? We don't
Hmm.
like. There's a study came out that actually people don't really exercise hard enough. And actually, I think people probably don't really. I'm in the camp that people don't train enough. I think you can train
Hmm.
more. I
Yeah.
think people could do more and more. And there's nothing wrong with doing 5 days a week, 6 days a week, as long as you're managing everything and you're not doing like max reps every fucking day. As you're smart
Hmm.
about your training, I think people have the ability to train more, and people get a bit sad when they don't get the results that they had in their head from training like 2 days a week or something. And it's probably because you weren't training enough. So yeah, I think
I mean,
yes,
I think that I can't remember who said it now, but people don't have a training problem, they have a recovery problem. And that's the thing.
yeah,
If you can train as much as what your recovery will allow you to do, that is where you want to be if you want to get the most gains. And
mm,
granted, that's not feasible for everybody. Not everyone can make it to the gym or do whatever that many times. But if you can and you can recover
mm,
from it, fucking go mad.
yeah, definitely.
And the next one here, so we've got frequency, and the other one is total volume as well. And that is how many reps and sets are you doing of a certain exercise or just hitting a certain muscle group per week. And Josh, this is the one that I really remember you went hard with the study of, and I can't remember all the
Mm,
exact numbers on this one, but essentially, if you're hitting a muscle group twice a week, then you want to be getting like anywhere between 3 to 5 sets in per workout of that muscle group as well. So you can actually essentially get like 10 sets of a muscle group in quite easily just with 2 full body workouts a week. And then that
mm.
is, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, so the place I got my information from this was, and this is more for hypertrophy than anything else, and that's
Hmm.
the hypertrophy guide on the the Renaissance Periodization website. So they have a hypertrophy guide on there, and they break down each individual muscle group, like if you train X amount of days, this is how many sets you can do, and it's
Hmm.
surprising. It's more than what people would think. I think there's
Yeah, the
something
volume
like
is quite high. Yeah.
yeah, I think for like like lateral delts, it's like 30 odd sets you can do in a week. So
Mm.
it's quite ridiculous. But yeah, the volume is important, and making sure you're doing too much, but also knowing that you're doing. If you're not looking to progress a particular area over anything else, and you're a beginner maybe, and you're looking to do everything evenly, is making sure it's is relatively even
Hmm.
across the sets, especially with antagonistic muscle groups, right? So
Hmm.
like quads and hammies, for instance, or chest and back, making sure your chest and back are relatively equal in terms of their set variety. Because, like, for instance, your quads can do with less sets than your chest. However, your chest probably wants to be similar to the amount of sets you do with your back. So because you'll see a lot of people. There's actually a client I've got at the moment. He's doing way too much bench, and I'm like, you need to slow that down and focus on your back because you're going to get problems. You're
Hmm.
going to be getting shoulder issues, all that sort of standard internal rotation in your shoulders. So let's focus on building up your back and doing more sets of that.
Mm. There's quite a few people, quite a few coaches out there who actually suggest a 2-to-1 ratio of back to chest. And for me, that all depends on where you're at any given time. I
Mm,
think what you said is perfectly right. Make it balanced to begin with, and if you find that you've got imbalances, then that's when you can start adjusting the
yeah.
volume. But there's also the other thing holds true with this. What I just said with volume, what can you recover from as well? Because if you can
Mm,
recover from it, as long as you're hitting all muscle groups equally, then that's good. But also, if you have got a lagging body area, Say, for instance, if you've got like really good arms and shoulders, but your chest is shit, then focus on the chest a bit more. Put a bit more volume through the chest for a few weeks to see how that adjusts then as well. And that's going to do well. Same for the legs. Same for any muscle group. Don't be afraid to put a little bit more volume, as long as you can recover from it, and as long as it doesn't affect the other muscle groups too much as well. Then that'll be a real good place to start. Any more to add to that, Josh? Sorry.
No, I think it's fucking great.
Cool. So, guys, that was the hot topic with the other variables, and we talked about tempo, range of motion, rest, frequency, and volume. So, have a play with all those different variables, not just the rep sets and weight, and you will get results. Because although you don't want to be changing things up too much, novelty is sometimes the best catalyst for changing the body. So see what you can do. We always recommend from like anywhere between changing things up 4 to 6 weeks, and you're going to get wicked results from that. 4 to 8 weeks, sorry, depending on how you're progressing.
Definitely. Jack, this one's for you, actually.
Okay.
How can you tell that your roommate's gay?
I don't know.
His dick tastes like shit.
For fuck's sake. You're terrible. Absolutely terrible. Did I tell you the one about the organizing a night out for all the impotent men?
No.
So did I tell you I done that? I organised a night out for a bunch of impotent men, but it was a complete flop and no one came.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. That was a good one.
Dear. Right, Josh, where can they find us?
They can find us at the RDA Strength System on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Our podcasting group, The Lifting Lounge, on Facebook, if you want to ask us any questions regarding the podcast. Our website, if you want to sign up to the Transformation Challenge starting January the 1st, is www.transformationchallenge.com.